They make dead people seem like. Audio by Paper to Audio. They make dead people seem like a small kid that would try to scare me for fun, all while finding out I'm really not scared or amused. Which explains when they lie on me or give me a false narrative, taking stuff out on me. This explains the Drake "I'm upset" and "nice for what" music video and him knowing too much about me, and the making of certain albums and songs. He made a live effect and swapping his relationship status with Cleo. Which explains the Iranian hostile situation. Trump killed a friend, Ig killed a friend, Young Thug killed a friend, Drake killed a friend. Which explains why I can't explain every murder or thing they did without sounding crazy or no one believing me. Like, if I put the gun to your head and pull the trigger, would you be dead? The "I'm upset" rant that keeps gaslighting me. If you put a gun to my head and pulled the trigger, would I be dead? Dilemmas. They want to place me in, but due to me not caring or being so upset to even think twice about, they don't want me to voice my idea of people not believing me or that I'm involved, making me look guilty of being crazy, or to cover up that someone close to me has been blackballing me, and also they may have a reason not to die. Which explains sacrifices. Also, they exercises the "I want to get raped or killed" to motive onto me, which is why I speak on things I don't know of or understand fully. Which explains and reality means I'm telling the truth. Which means I would always seem to stand up for the wrong thing on a transparent stage. Like, why not kill such and such, or why can't he just get locked up already? They need me to feel bad about myself. Which explains the keys in X's case. For example, gun description, or the money that was posted. Which explains the evidence versus the move Robert Allen pulled, being victim with the racism. Which explains the evidence versus the move Robert Allen pulled, being victim with the racism. A kid that doesn't care about being touched is like the XXX manager with e-signature scandal, to cover up that, in 2017-18-ish. A kid that doesn't care about being touched is like the XXX manager, e-sign scandal, to cover up that I wouldn't say nothing as long as I didn't know I would be a witness or act like X is still alive, or the fact that being crude is the medicine. Which explains why people are in and out of jail targeting me and my bids, celebrities or not. But with celebrities, the evidence is harder to prove if the judge is working against me, so old cases seem to get dismissed quick. So when I tell my side, everyone near me won't believe me or ridicule me. This explains why they target a certain episode or logo regardless if I am able to find it or not, so I could point out the wrong person, and they will play Drake's music or X's music over me anyway any day. Exposing copyrights and screenshots, screen recordings from evidence. Also, even if what he did is on camera or he admitted it, or threatened me using other artists, I grow to not respect. My unresponsiveness adds to the "if you're smart enough to know then you may indulge" clause. They would love me to diss a city person I suspect of faking a fight, or taking something from me, or take out my situation out on someone. Also, they make it about me finding all this out like I'm eating it all from others or misguiding the kids. They want me distracted with the common "he did that," or "he put his insignia on that one," in a praising tone, and that I need a kid or someone ignorant to tell me there is no hope, no security, no FBI, no security for me that I thought I had. My toughness and or credibility might be tampered with because me naming a song or me predicting a death or naming after event will be a disgrace. Yes, in which explains the supposed to be tough guys go out bad, like going to jail for a staged reason and stages amount of town, like they could afford it, all to hide that they want something from me, maybe a common murder confession, and that it's normal for them to want the artificial side. They want me to beat up Santa or to despise the Godsplin dilemma and ruin it for beliefs, for example, or to ruin my own career drastically. How did they dramatically know where and what time Robert was on videotape buying mask? Who gave them up? And why would they make it easy from there? The giving back was to cover up the inner circle of the label and manager scheme. A distraction from Drake. Someone meticulously knew Newsom wouldn't get a bond. Nothing really connected him to the crime and to even out the scheme. So he turns himself. Victims or law enforcement would point out the two skinny black men with only one with evidence, one with no background, Then the argument about shots being fired staged. They needed a conviction, so the state purchased it from them. In last, it's bought more time for the inner circle to stage his death, fully compartmentalize. Remember Jimmy Wappo? This exposes the narrative they want to paint of X, as well as things he said before he passed good and bad, all mildly sublime. Too good to be true, right? Well, it not even a young cut projection. Which helps explain the double scandal scheme use over the years with names and dates, or description. Aaron Carter death to be symbolized as a frail, sick griever or a ex-girlfriend of someone like Young Thug, and to hide the stuff they surrounded me around like threats or graphics details. Remember Thug had his baby mama killed. Remember the Lil Wayne Carter scheme and the negative feedback on me. Gucci robbery was to cover up the timeline of deaths. Used Sheesty another excuse to boost streams or song views to throw feds off. I'm labeled a snitch when the one around me are the biggest. And they know about rich snitches, which explains the vision or scenario of me going to support court over the years to testify the truth about various different cases opposed to one big case that lasts over a longer time period. This explains staged events such as the amount of times someone is attempting to be assassinated. Trump. They enforced and manipulated that everyone needs something to tell them how to feel ideally, and they targeted me, which explains the Mo3 death if investigated properly. And the Toxic song by X. Oh, and how they always make a song or publish something taunting me after I find it expose the truth. A closed casket live funeral service. For no reason is crazy. Almost sounds like you're blackballing someone else and playing compartmentalized games with seekers of the truth or those not wise enough to know. Remember that they someone close to XX as a sponsor for me trying or actually successfully profiting from excess staged robbery and death. All to keep me confined to limited expository options. They emphasize that they need someone to tell them what to do to remain in the semi-guilty role, to manipulate a non-guilty dilemma. This points to all the times they wanted me to apply excess death for my benefits of any kind. For example, a family member faking that he is still presumed alive. This explains the takeoff death being staged and pre-planned all the way to the video, to the $1 million Bond relic. They delete music and repost it. To be the equivalent of me watching XXX and have to pay next time I view it. They know I'm smart. So they hide the fact that they manipulate how my dad and grandparents look, and the fact that they used inmates from jail to manipulate sensitive dilemma. That explains them calling young Dolph a fictional jester around and at me. They try to sell scares like the bids, and to cover up death footage of celebrities for financial gain, possibly remote gain. Remember, they made Boatwright turn himself in on the first week after the first month XXXTentacion dies, and get caught with drugs, who gave the info on Boatwright. That lead the detective to get DNA and warrants. Why didn't the court bring up that they caught Michael Boatwright in camera getting into the car, and in cameras also? Why would he choose to rob at a place where they know him at Riva Sports? The crash had to be related to Boatwright getting arrested lastly and being caught with drugs, being a gaslighting charge for charges scheme. All to blaspheme, ridicule me for what I did or did do. Everyone has their opinions on XXX. Everyone also have their lies. I believe Robert's plan was to snitch the whole time. But they want you to flinch at the slightest mistake as they will others. This explains the Robert story of it not being staged. This exposes how they forge false or alterative narrative, getting caught up in lies and keeping it alive. Dilemma flirting with responsibility, even if false. Robert took too many losses for the public not to believe his alibi, the amount, being ripped off by dealer, having to go back to his GF after Chucky was locked up. They get caught with evidence to cover up the fact that they want me to feel bad for everyone, and for example Googling myself. As to them, Googling incriminating evidence. Robert took too many losses for the public not to believe his alibi, the amount, being ripped off by dealer, having to go back to his GF after Chucky was locked up. They get caught with evidence to cover up the fact that they want me to feel bad for everyone, and for example Googling myself. As to them, Googling incriminating evidence. How did Robert not see the guns at any point? Who else can place Chucky at the scene besides the cameras? Someone who definitely he knows about the camera's angles and blind spots, as Robert said, or something with a complete false narrative. This proves how the getaway driving alibi is expose-contrasted. For someone to find and expose later when they are prepared. What state attorney and jury have is the pile of digital evidence credible for Allen and the rest that they chose to use, mistakenly. I swear it's like they break into fake feds' phone to want me anyway. And they use my old work and materials to help out, like the number 2, their dual scheme namesake. They taking it out in me, like the exact moment I expect something, the exact moment I look for something, or look for something on an app, such as privacy settings, or something that I would never find or need, or that they knew I'd need. You have reached the end of the text.